Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video we are finally going to be doing a video that I've wanted to do for the longest time, but to be honest, finding the right plants for this video was a challenge at best. So I think one of the biggest obstacles that people face when they're maybe just starting out or purchasing cacti from a commercial nursery or one of the larger producers is what on earth to do with them when you get them home. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I predominantly grow cacti from seed, and then I also purchase them through cactus and succulent society members at the monthly meetings. So how I treat those plants versus how I treat plants that are from commercial means, so like maybe a big box store or a sort of a standard retail nursery, they're quite different in terms of treatment. The process is much the same, but I think this is probably the main way that most people are going to purchase cacti is this way. So I happened to go past it's called Bunnings. So if you're from Australia, you know exactly what Bunnings is, the big green shed. But if you're not familiar, it's just a very, very large hardware store. Anyways, I call in there probably once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to have a look. Very, very rarely is there anything of interest. But today was an exception to that. So I'll show you what I got. The first one here, this is Gymnocalycium, I don't know if it'll zoom. So Gymnocalycium anistii, and what's the next bit of it? Multiproliferum, which is probably a fancy way of saying it makes lots of pups, I'm assuming. So I don't have this cacti, and I love Gymnocalycium, so I'm really, really happy for this particular one. The next one that I picked up is this guy here, which is it's a hybrid. It's a Chamaeopsis hybrid, as you can see, if it will zoom. Come on. So awesome pink flowers on this guy. Definitely happy to buy this one. And then the last one, and the last one's probably the one that I find the most interesting. Now it could just be incredibly dehydrated, I don't know, but they've got this labeled as I'll just cover my face so that the camera looks at it. They've got this labeled as Gymnocalycium brucei, but this does not look like any brucei that I'm familiar with. The brucei, generally the spines are very flattened against the body. So this is unusual. It might be a different variant, or it might just be incredibly dehydrated. So I picked up these three, and these are the ones that I'm going to show you what I will do with plants that are grown in a commercial nursery and purchased from a retail store. So the mix that they're in is going to be predominantly organic. Now these particular plants, if you're from Australia, I would almost guarantee you have seen these plants. Like, it's almost 100% certainty. So I know this nursery. I know this nursery very well. I know the soil mix that these cacti are in, and in their setting, it works incredibly well. However, in my setting, and I guess in most people's settings, I don't believe that it's a suitable mix by any stretch of the imagination, and personally, regardless of the setting, I don't like it. But anyways, that's not bashing on the nursery. Look, clearly these plants are very, very healthy looking. You can't dispute that. They look beautiful. So I'm not bashing on the nursery by any means. I just don't like their soil mix, and that's a personal preference thing. But look, how about I stop waffling on about soil, even though it is an incredibly important topic, and let's get down to the nuts and bolts. I'll flip the camera around so you can stop looking at my mug, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the plants, and then also I'll show you where they're going to end up from here. I don't know what this bit of hair is doing. Alright, so we're going to start up with the Gymnocalycium anistii. I don't want this label. They look great in a retail nursery, but I don't think they look very good in a cactus collection. So, I'm not expecting this guy to have great roots, and that is because of the soil mix that he's in, but we'll see. I might be wrong. Oh, he's spiky. So, you might notice that I've got a tray in under here, and that is because I don't want this soil mix. The soil mix that he's in. I don't want any of it at all. Alright, so what I want to do is get all the soil off this plant. So the way I do that is I start from the top, and I just sort of gently sort of pull down, and just sort of tease and tickle. I don't want to pull. If you pull, you'll break the roots. You're going to break roots anyways, but you can try and reduce that. The roots on this actually aren't too bad. To be honest with you, I'm surprised. Okay. Alright, that's looking pretty good. There's some pups around the very base. I don't want those. So don't pull them off. I'm just going to twist them off. I don't want them. There's one right down in there. There we go. Ah, far out. This is actually really spiky. Okay. And even down in, can you see in there? I don't want those in there. That's not a good spot for them to be growing. So take that out. Take this one off as well. I just want the base to be a bit cleaner. Just makes potting a lot easier. I'll take that one as well. So if you twist them, you'll see that the break is very, very clean, and that's what we're after. If you pull them off, you're likely to pull out like a little stringy bit, which you don't want. All right, cool. So he's clean. I'll move this. I don't want that soil that's going straight in the bin. Put that there for now. I'm going back into the same size pot. This is a 63mm pot or a 2-inch pot. Thereabouts. Soil mix is just basically what's left over. I'll put a little bit in the base, it's probably too much. Around there. And I'll just see how we're going for height. Try not to get harpooned by this particular one, because he's quite aggressive. So just load it up around the sides. Whatever falls through, falls through. And I'll just tap the sides as well. That rock's not going to go in. Jokey. Now that I'm probably about the 2/3 of the way full, this is now when I'll add the pest control. So I use this product here. It is, in my opinion and in my experience, the only product on the market that actually works. And it works for a very long time, once a year, and that's it, you're done. So just tip a little bit in the sides. I don't need to measure it too much, just like that. It's maybe, I don't know, 1/4 teaspoon, let's call it. Just spread it around the pot and down the sides a bit. And then what I want to do is actually leave a lip as well. Don't overfill the pot, otherwise watering is a nightmare. I didn't need to use the skewer, I was just able to get the plant into the pot at the right depth with just with tapping. So that's it there, all ready to go into his new home, and that's it, nice and easy. And so I'll move on to the second one, and we'll continue on from there. I'm just checking the plant as well for overall health. I'm looking for hidden bugs, and a lot of bugs tend to hide up in here around the collar of the plant, because it's a very good place for a bug to hide. Actually, they get all the goodness of the plant with the protection as well, so nice spot for them to hide. I'm just going to clean it up a bit, so I'll use the brush. I just want to get around the top of the plant, just get rid of all the muck that's been stuck there. By now you can see what I'm excited about. absolutely awesome taproot. Isn't that incredible? I always like to take a little bit of time when I'm filming to show the taproot, because I think they're very, very impressive structures for one, and it's one of those things that you don't get to see that often because it's under the ground or under the soil, obviously. And so now I'm left with a dilemma, and that is this taproot's already started to bend because it's clearly hit the bottom of the pot. It's only a small plant, but I don't think, given the taproot, that it's suitable to go back into the little square pot that it was in. So this pot here, I don't think, based on the size of that taproot already, that that's a suitable pot. Now, I don't have many pots at the moment. I'm just waiting to get some. A friend of mine's organised some for me, so I'll probably have those in the next couple of weeks. So this is what I've got. Now, I'm not, I would generally would not recommend over potting a cactus, except in the case of certain ones, which I won't go into today. But in this case, I'm going to, because as you can see there, I'm just trying to get a good angle. The taproot's already pretty much filling up, I would say, 50% of the pot in terms of width, and I don't want to restrict that taproot any more than it is. I do not recommend trimming taproots at all. Even though this is bent, leave it be. If you come across this and it's like that, don't fiddle with it. It's probably not gonna end well. So he's gonna go into a big pot. So I'm just gonna top off that the pest control that I put in there, like that. A little bit uneven. There we go. All right. There we go. I think he's looking pretty special. Good height. I don't mind the numbers on there. That's not relevant to anything. Okay, so that's it there. And then I've got one more to go. Okay. Oh, he's really prickly as well. I picked 3 super prickly ones today. That's all right. It's no big deal, really. All right. Now this guy's got the kind of root system that I don't like, and this is honestly what I expect to get from commercially grown plants. Very raggedy sort of root system. It's very sparse. There's an awful lot of growth up top, and the growth at the top is beautiful, but I don't like this root system. There's no strength to it, and that's because the plant's been babied. But anyway, so let's quickly repot this guy. So with the pest treatment in, I'll just finish the top layer. Again, I want to leave a little lip, so underfill the pot a little bit, so when I'm watering, there's somewhere for the water to go. And then what I do as well is I sort of turn the plant like that, and I want to try and see the base of the plant, where I want it to sit in the soil, and I generally will just want it to sit in the same position that it was in, unless I feel the plant was planted too deeply, and then I'll lift it up a little bit. Alright. Now again, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I do not squish down rocky mixes, only organic mixes. I like the rocky mixes to settle over time, so all I do is just tap. That's all I do. And again, if you watch the unboxing video, if I wanted to move the plant in a certain direction, I push it that direction, tap, and then I let it go. That way I can even the plant out in the pot until it's looking how I want it to look. I want it a little bit that way as well, and I think that's looking rather good. Alright, so that's all 3 done. From here, I will show you where they're going to end up. So this is where they'll spend a week. just a week should be enough. So this is under one of the tables in the greenhouse, and it's dreadfully hot in here at the moment, so we won't be spending too long, and I think we've pretty much covered off everything we need to anyways. But they'll live under here, and as you can see in the background there's some seedlings. So this is a bright area, but it's what you would call bright shade. And this is because these guys, when I bought them, they'd been living inside. So they're not ready for the sunshine just yet. They need a little bit of time to acclimate, and under here is a perfect place for them to do that. It will only take around a week, maybe 10 days, but a week's usually plenty. So if you've got... if you don't have a greenhouse, under a table outside would be just fine, as long as there's some bright ambient light, which you can probably tell the difference between the light levels in this video versus when we were filming the repotting. And so I just let them sit here. I won't water them, and I'll water them in around a week's time. So these two here, because they have a fibrous root system, they'll get a drink in a week's time. This guy back here, because he has the taproot, there may have been some damage during the potting process of the taproot, and so I'll wait 10 to 14 days for him to have a drink. And I just give them a full drink. Nothing silly, no drops or mists or anything like that. I'm just going to give them a drink. They're quite plump anyways, so it's not as if they're incredibly thirsty, except I do believe this guy here is rather thirsty. But that taproot you've got to be careful of. So that's it, guys. That's how I integrate new cacti that aren't from private growers. These are commercially grown plants, first that I've bought in quite a few years now. So hope you found the video useful and got some interesting information out of it. And I wish you all the luck with your plant purchases, and I'd love to hear what you've bought recently and what's on your wish list as well. Alright everyone, thanks for watching, and as always, happy gardening. Bye bye.